we are back on KLONA Conversation, and today we are still talking about jobs, employment, money. How do we make money? How do we get jobs? How do we secure that seat in the boardroom? But today specifically on this episode, we are talking about how do we earn more money, or how do we negotiate a better salary. In the room, we have someone who has done that before, moved from probably a 5-figure to a 7-8 figure. So we want to know, how did they do it? What did they go through? Robert, you're welcome on this show.
Thank you, Lois, for having me.
Innocent.
We
want to know, how do we get that money?
Yeah, I mean, it is a process. It's not an event. You know that most of the employers are looking for value. They are not giving you a job because they like you. Even when they like you and you are their relative, they still want you to deliver value.
Definitely.
But in most cases, most employers are looking for value. So, first, you must demonstrate that you deliver that value they are looking for.
So if currently they are giving me 200,000, does that mean that that's my value? According to them or according to me?
Yeah, like we said, it's a process. You have to start somewhere. In order to get to Z, you must start from A. So you must start from some place. So if you're starting from 200,000, that may not necessarily be your value, but that's where you're starting from.
That can be a starting point.
And that's a starting point.
And then how do I now negotiate for a better pay?
So we go back to the principles. The principles are that you must deliver value.
What are those things that I have to do to deliver value?
Well, let's imagine that you are now at your 200,000 shillings, and you want to get up to maybe 600,000, 800,000, and probably a move
to 1 million.
To 1 million, and you want to move from one position A to position B, probably in terms of seniority. And they put up an advert, for example, and say, this is KLONA Conversation. We would like to get a person, maybe a personal assistant for Lois. And then they'll put down what that person will look like. So the process of you being able to command the price that you really have in your mind starts at that point, because you've understood what the other person wants, and you believe that you actually have it, and you want to demonstrate to them that you can actually deliver what they are looking for. So that's where the story starts from. Negotiating for better salary does not come at the end of the interview process.
It comes at the point of applying for the job. At the point
of application.
So whoever is watching this show and really has been struggling with their boss to get a pay rise over the years, are you saying that they played wrong at the point when they got the job? Sure.
Exactly. Yes.
So how do they now rearrange things?
Okay.
What do you have to do? So
when a company puts out an advert for a job, the power relations are such that they have more power. They have the job.
They have the budget.
They have the budget, and you are at the lower end of the power dynamics, because you're the one who is looking, you're the one who is going to them.
Definitely.
So the game for anyone who really wants to negotiate a better pay should be that once you start applying, you have to play your best game, because that's when you start actually negotiating, by making sure that your resume, your CV is well organized.
Good.
It is superb.
Yes.
They look at it and they choose it out of the many. That's already you are negotiating now. Even before you speak to them,
you are negotiating. At the point where you're applying,
you are negotiating.
I'm quite surprised.
So you must make sure that your CV speaks well about you, speaks well about your experience, but it demonstrates that you will deliver value.
And you have the value of that money you have in your mind.
Exactly.
So at the point when you do the interview and then you're negotiating, now they're talking about the salary, your minimum below which you cannot allow. We have, of course, because of desperation of unemployment and all that, the economy and all that, people tend to chicken out. I've been on panels when they ask someone, how much do we give you below which you can't work? Someone says 200,000 when it's not even enough for transport and lunch.
Exactly.
And you really see this person is just desperate to just get a job. So what do you have to do at that point when you're negotiating? What value do you attach yourself that you get the job but you don't, like a balance?
Yeah. So here's the dynamic. We said once the company puts out the advert, they are, the power dynamics are such that they are in a stronger position.
And they already know.
Yes. But here's the thing that you need to do as a person who wants to up their salary, to have a better opportunity to negotiate. You must, at each level of that interview process, you must chip away at the power the company has. You chip away at that power by demonstrating that you're the best person for the job and that you deliver the value they're looking for.
Is there a chance that their budget was 1 million and because I was the best person, like out of demonstration of the interviews and everything, they increased that to 1.5?
Exactly, because they will know. And you can tell from how the demeanor, how they talk to you.
And they keep calling you.
They keep calling you. And you will tell that, Bano Mbalina.
So you can feel it.
So you can feel it. So you need to demonstrate along that chain, along all the stages. Once you do a good demonstration, you will chip away at their power. In the end, the scales will turn.
So what are those things that can help me demonstrate that I'm the best person? Apart from, of course, the CV, because by the time they call you for an interview, you probably have the right qualification, you have the right experience. What are those things that can demonstrate the value that I want?
The thing is preparation.
Preparation.
You must prepare yourself. You must prepare yourself because remember, it's an open invitation. They're saying, this is who we are, this is who we want, and they're putting out an open invitation to everybody. So you must prepare yourself. You must prepare yourself. Preparation. Even when you're invited for the interview, preparation until the very last day.
That helps.
That helps. You need to be prepared. You need to know, what is this company about? What do they do? What do they want me to do? How will I contribute to what they're trying to deliver? Their growth, their objectives, their mission. Do I have the necessary skills? Can I demonstrate that I have those skills? Once you've done a good job on preparation, then demonstration of your ability to deliver that which they are looking for is very easy.
Now, for those that have already done the interviews with desperation, they accepted a given type of salary. But they are rethinking the money is not enough for transport, for lunch, or probably can't even pay your children's school fees. What do you have to do?
Again, I'll go back to preparation. Preparation doesn't mean being able to answer the questions very well. It also means scoping the environment to know, okay, a person...
This is what they want.
At this level, what does the market pay? For KLONA conversation...
If we need a receptionist.
Yeah, what are they paying? A company at this level, what do they pay for? I mean, you can do.
So you're not out of scope.
You're not out of scope. So you know, okay, this is this company. Companies at this level, on average, they're paying
this amount of money.
So when you're going
to position yourself.
Exactly.
So you don't want to also ask for an abnormal salary because you think you're worth it.
Yeah.
So for those that are already in employment, already they have contracts, they negotiated badly, they want to be paid, they don't know what to do. The employer feels like they're already paying them much more than they should be getting. What do they have to do?
I think for them they have an even easier, they have an easier path.
How?
Because you're already in the business, you're already in the company, or with your, maybe it's a project or whatever it is, you already have an opportunity because you are in there. Now, the only thing you have to do is to demonstrate. Now,
results.
Deliver. Deliver on the promise. Over-deliver on the promise, because you're not going to say, you sign a contract today and then tomorrow you say, no, I think we need to renegotiate. You've got to, first of all, give it to them. Yeah, give it to them and show them that without me, this is what you're going to miss.
So you make yourself indispensable.
Indispensable. You show them that...
How do you do that? You over-deliver, you work extra hours.
Exactly.
You put in more.
You actually want to show them that you've seen what I can deliver, but there is more where that delivery has come from. and I can deliver it if you can move a little bit further in terms of how you compensate for my efforts. But that conversation is very difficult if your value is not being felt.
Exactly.
So you need to ensure that
you deliver.
You deliver.
But you see, some employers, you will deliver. For example, you meet all your targets, they pay you on commission. They give you a basic salary for those who are in sales, in banks and what. But still, when you negotiate, they'll say, no, our standard pay is this. So is it advisable to plan moving? Is it a good way of also negotiating a better pay?
Yeah.
Moving to another organization or another workplace?
Absolutely. If you cannot give me what I am worth, then I have to start looking. And progressive organizations know that. Once they realize that they have a good employee who is delivering on the promise, who's giving them the value that they want, and the employee hints on the fact that I need to renegotiate or I need to negotiate something more, they know what that means. It means that there are other people knocking on the door. Or there are doors I can knock on because I know. And they open.
And they know that.
And they know. So
what makes this organization not increase salary of companies, even when they know that you're very variable, you're that part of the organization that they don't want to lose, but they can't increase your salary?
I have been in an organization, in a company, a global bank in the past, where the salaries were so well structured. They were so structured.
And that's it.
And that's it. So you negotiate within that range. For example, they will say if you are a manager, your salary ranges from 2 million to 3 million. So you can negotiate anywhere between 2 to 3. Supposing you believe that your value is more than 3 million, it means that company is not going to be very helpful, because they say if you are at that level, that's the cutoff point. So
for those that are watching and they have reached that, so the range is 2 to 3, and you're already at 3, what do? Do you leave?
No.
Do you screw your boss so he leaves? You pray for him to die so you can get into his position. You understand? Like, what do we do? Because I mean, the families are growing.
Yes.
You got this job 5 years ago. The money was enough, but right now it's not.
Yeah.
So what do you have to do?
So first of all, you have to understand your employer. That's the most important thing. Sometimes it's difficult to understand your employer when you are outside, but once you get in, you must understand your employer and understand what the employer can do and what they cannot do.
So you have to be realistic.
So that you are realistic, but also so that you can prepare yourself as a person. You look at what you're being paid and your own needs. Do they match? And if they don't, and the employer is not able to increase your salary,
and you're worth more than that,
then you have to start looking elsewhere.
So that is the other plan.
That's
start looking out.
Yeah. If they cannot, I've been there, and I got to a point where they could not do anything, and I had to move to another bank.
Okay.
And I didn't want to move to the other bank because I liked where I was working.
It was good.
But in the end, I had to make the decision.
Because you wanted to negotiate a better pay.
Exactly.
That's why you're exactly in that seat, because we are sure you got the money and you are able to negotiate a better pay. That's why we have you in this seat, because we are sure you've negotiated your salary over and over, and we are coming back. Please keep watching. We are coming back after this break. Yes, we are back, and specifically in this episode we are talking about how do you negotiate a better pay for those that are employed, and we have gone through different things that make you earn a better pay, valuing, scoping, and all that. You will watch it, but we're continuing. I want to ask Mr. Katende, does your family, your close family, of course the children, influence how much you're earning?
Yes.
Or single people can have less pay, and as married people with children, we can have a more pay. Is that a good way of negotiating your salary? Because I've seen so many people who work with their managers and say, I have a family, now I'm married, I need you to increase my salary. Does it really matter?
It does, because family is a big responsibility. When you're living alone, certain things do not matter a lot. But when you have a wife or a husband and then you have children, certain things change. The dynamics change. And as a result, or by extension, you are going to negotiate in certain ways because you know you have those responsibilities.
Do you think that is a sensible way of negotiating for salary?
Yes.
Can I walk to my manager and say, I just got married, we have a new baby, I really need my salary to be increased?
Now let me tell you something that is very interesting. When you're negotiating for salary, some people believe that salary is your net pay, what comes to your account. But there are so many other things that constitute salary. For example, an employer who says, if you have children, I'll pay for them school fees. That is salary.
That is salary.
Yes.
Medical?
Medical, that is salary. So when you're negotiating, you're not negotiating only on the amount of money that hits the account. You're negotiating on all other cost centers that you know.
Airtime,
Exactly. Transport, when my children are sick, do I have insurance? Because if you didn't have insurance, then you'd have to pay out of pocket. But you have insurance, paid for by your employer. That is salary.
So you have to consider all those other variables.
All other variables.
Transport, education of the children,
medical
care,
health.
when you're negotiating a salary.
Exactly.
Now, if you did not know that, because I'm sure my viewers didn't know that,
Yeah.
what do you do? Because now you're married, you have a family, you're stuck.
You've got to go and talk to, because our employers are also people.
How do you start that conversation?
You have to find a way to start that conversation and say, well, my dynamics have now changed.
Do you really think our employers can listen to such a conversation? Say in a bank where you have been a manager.
Yeah.
Would you listen to such a person who convinced and tells you, I just got married, my wife is pregnant, I'm negotiating for an increase in my salary?
I think what you really need to do to hold that conversation is not necessarily to go in and say, I need to negotiate for better pay, but you really want to go in there and say, okay, my situation has changed, I've been single, now I'm married, I even have a child coming, or I already have children. Are there opportunities or alternatives or things that this company provides for people who are in that category? Are there benefits that accrue to people who are in that category? And if yes, how do I access them?
But most organizations in Uganda don't have that.
If they don't have, then they don't have.
Or maybe the best way would be if you ask for a better position.
Either way, you can ask for a better position, but there are also some things which are silent. Most companies, if they are for profit, they want to keep as much of the money that they make as possible.
So they may not really share the privileges that
Exactly.
But when you ask,
you might actually find that they are
they
there.
might tell you that, no, actually this company pays school fees for the children.
Exactly. And we consider that on request on one-by-one basis.
If you don't request for it,
they don't get it. So
okay.
The important thing is to ask, but also to find out about your employer and say, okay, what is the available range of benefits that I have as an employee that I can hook into as my situation changes? Yes.
As my situation changes to
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you really think that as employers, largely, they can accommodate people who, say for example, are single but get a higher pay, and then those that have large families get lower pay? Does it really matter? Because I've had people say, the other person is single, they don't have responsibility. I'm sure you have heard about that.
Yes.
They don't have so much responsibility. They don't really need that money. And me, I need that money. What really causes that?
I think there's so many factors, but the most important one is the culture of the organization and how that organization is set up. Organizations or companies or whatever the form of the entity is, the culture of that entity will determine a lot on how they compensate people. They will even ask you from the word go, for example, when negotiating, say, do you have a family?
Yeah, and how many children?
How many children do you have? Yeah, your own children.
Yes.
They'll probably say, how many other children do you look after who are not necessarily your biological children? Do you have a husband? Do you have a wife? They want to know that because they have organized their businesses or projects in such a way that they'll take care of that some way. To lift the pressure. It doesn't matter, but you need to know. You need to know.
Package.
You need to know the package. And when you're negotiating, do not negotiate for just the money that hits your account. You are negotiating for all these things. Because in the end, that is salary. If you didn't get those benefits, for example, medical insurance, you'd pay out of your pocket.
Now, for those that have tried that path and it has surely not helped, what's your advice? Do we move on? Do we drop the towel and just say we're done?
Okay.
Because I've seen people who resign because they're getting little money and then they spend another 3 years looking for the next job, which they never get. So what do you do? Do you endure the pain of paycheck per paycheck? What do you do?
I think what is for sure is that we cannot get everything that we need. We cannot get everything we need when we need them. Not even from our employers, but we need to survive, find a way to survive. So these are the things that you can do. Number one, stay on the job and deepen your understanding of what you're doing. Deepen your understanding and broaden.
You're acquiring skills.
You are acquiring more skills, you are acquiring more knowledge, experience, you know.
Which will get you into a better position.
Exactly, and be intentional on it. Like, okay, I don't have what I really need at the moment, but let me deepen my knowledge, my skills, my experience, my understanding of what I am doing and how it contributes to the development and growth of this business. And maybe in the end, that will help you to position yourself better when the time comes.
So
that's what.
For those that have already given up, you know us, human race, when someone doesn't meet your needs, you kind of get demotivated. So for those that are demotivated, then you should pick up the pieces.
Exactly.
Still do that job, gain experience, learn how to do it. It will help you get a better job.
Exactly. And being demotivated doesn't help you. Doesn't help you at all, because in the end you might actually get sacked.
But it happens.
You might actually get sacked from that business.
Then you lose it.
And then you lose it out. You lose the experience and the time.
I know.
So the other thing is, if you're not getting what you think your value is, go back to school. Use that time. When you're looking, go back to school. Okay. It may mean going back to conventional school, do another diploma, do another degree, do a master's degree or PhD or whatever it is. But it might also mean going back to unconventional school.
Like, what's that?
You know, finding online courses, free online courses on the internet, on the World Wide Web. They are there, and read.
Specific to your job.
Specific to your job. Find inspiring stories that are related to what you're doing, and read about the biographies of those people. How were they able to achieve what they achieved, and so that you keep adding value to yourself every other day as you wait for that opportunity to come. As opposed to saying, nze byange biganye, byannema, tebanjagaliza. But while you're complaining, you're staying the same. You need to make sure that you're complaining, but you're adding value to yourself. Eventually, it's likely that employer will actually see the value and give you what you're looking for, or someone else will. Or you go out there and look for the opportunities. But if you stay still
and still complain,
and you're still complaining,
you're demotivated, and meanwhile you're not getting another pay raise, then it doesn't make sense.
That makes sense, because you're stagnant, you're not adding value, you are where you're at, your value is as what it was yesterday, and if you're not careful, your value will dip.
It's dropping.
Will drop.
Ideally, it's dropping.
Exactly.
Because now we are evolving.
Exactly.
Things are now for working from home.
Exactly.
So if you don't have a private laptop, and then there are virtual meetings, then things are tight.
Yeah. So the other thing is, keep growing your networks. Keep growing your networks, because the world is more connected now than it was perhaps 30, 40, 50 years ago. The world is more connected, and the opportunities lie in the network. Some people say your network is your net worth. I don't believe it. but the network is a very important thing. Stay within your networks.
Network itself?
Your network is your friends.
Does it eliminate my family?
It doesn't.
So my network can be my family.
Starts from your family and then grows out to your friends, to former workmates, former schoolmates.
Is it intentional or it's a natural process of networking?
It's natural, but you must be intentional. You must be intentional on it. Okay, so the people that I went to school with, where are they at? How do I get them? These days it is easy to find them. Yeah. They are on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they are, WhatsApp. You can find them. Groups. And get to know them. And don't be shy about telling people that I am looking for a job.
I have a bachelor's degree in economics.
Exactly.
And I need a job.
Yeah, I'm working somewhere. I don't think my value is well compensated for. I'm looking for other opportunities. And once your network is big enough and you put out that information, it's very likely that people will look out for you and tell you, there's this opportunity to try here, and there, like that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Robert. Now, if you did not learn from this episode, I don't know where you're going to learn. We have learned about how to negotiate your pay. If your organization cannot increase your salary, what are the alternative approaches? Don't sit and complain. Be motivated. Try to learn. Dig deep into your work. Perform that duty to the best. Add value to yourself as you wait for another opportunity to come. And many more. Please watch the episodes before this. Specifically, they talk about the same things. Prepare, network. They are the same things that the first episode talks about. Till next time, bye for now.